Hey everyone, it's Wade Franson back with a sneak peek for the upcoming episode on November 18th of Created in the Image of God. I am in the studio with a foreign guest from another land far away. Yiska Smith is dialing in from Israel. She has an amazing journey. She has a book that was published in June called Planting Seeds of the Divine Torah Commentaries to Cultivate Your Spiritual Practice. But Yiska grew up with parents in America who were in the process of being assimilated. And it wasn't until her visit to Israel between her sophomore and junior year that that the land literally and figuratively spoke to her, and she knew she had to go back. Welcome to the studio, Yiska.
Thank you. Thank you, Wade.
So we've just been having an extended conversation. We couldn't really get this sneak peek going because your life is so fascinating and so intriguing. So the title of the show is Spiritual Awakening, Reclaiming Your Divine Identity. Tell us about that moment when you set foot in Israel in 1971 and the land spoke to you.
So I was in Jerusalem, visiting Jerusalem as tourists do, without a strong Jewish identity, surely not a Zionist, traditional Zionist identity. I came to Israel, I thought, to volunteer and work on a kibbutz to experience the communal lifestyle. And there I am at the Western Wall, as we all, as tourists do, approach. And I looked left, I looked right, everyone's putting their head against the stones and they're crying or they're smiling, they're praying. So I put my head against the wall and I hear this voice move through me, welcome home. And at first it startled me. It really, I had no context within which to understand that. And then I reflected on it and I felt, I really like being here. Like I feel like I'm home, like there's a pull. And I didn't know what that was. And I knew I had to investigate and research and contemplate on this idea of welcome home. That's how it started.
And we talked then subsequently, you came back in 1973. And at that time, you within a month you experienced the Yom Kippur War, which was troubling, and yet that is the moment when you decided to return. But what we also talked about is that the Western Wall, where you prayed, has actually been extended by the religion of ministry to accommodate a common space for men and women to pray together. So Israel is evolving. Tell us a little bit about that and your status as a thought leader in Israel.
As a thought leader, I cultivate creative thinking, creative and respectable pushback on status quo in order to evolve and in order to be more of activate our potential. So in 1971, the Ministry of Religion, after the Six-Day War in 1967, they defined the religious observance as in the Orthodox tradition, which means there's a divider, and men are on one side and women are on another. And from 1967 through about 10 years ago, I'd say, I don't know the exact date, I think it was about 10 years ago, 2015, the Ministry of Religion with the Knesset, it had to go through the governmental approval, assigned another section of the Western Wall, because of where we are today, where there's a concern and there's an interest for more of a egalitarian engagement in our ritual prayer community services, they opened up a section and it's called the egalitarian. Actually, it's called the Israelite section for anyone, regardless, male, female, and I guess today even more people who identify in different ways with gender. But there's no separation between the men and the women there. It's equally holy, it's equally a place of sanctity, and it's equally a place that affords just other groups of people to feel included in the bigger whole of the nation of Israel and in the nation of humanity.
Well, thank you. We're going to get into this in a deep way on November 18th. I'll share that when I was there in 81, and I visited Elijah's cave, there was a sign outside on Mount Carmel about Eretz Israel and the Holy Land. I was back more recently and don't see that same sign in the same way, but this idea of evolving, I almost feel like, in a way, I'm coming home here in this conversation with you to understand how we build vibrant communities, which is the tagline of this show, created in the image of God, building vibrant communities. So this is going to be a special episode, an important episode. I really want to encourage everyone listening to this sneak peek to show up at 8 p.m. Central Time on November 18th with Yiska Smith and Spiritual Awakening, Reclaiming Your Divine Identity. We'll see you there.